kid you not. You know, the technical issues, we've got those figured out, I think. But as I'm just getting ready to record, a truck pulls up. I see these guys get out. They've got these big saws. They're ready to take a tree down right out here. So I go out and I say, can you blah, blah, blah. And, you know, these big burly guys, and they're looking at me and they're like, okay. So if you hear sawing, they said they would go up the street, but life is, as I've said every time. Okay, hello, and I'm glad you're here. Lots to go over today. It may be just one factual after another, so get ready. I want you to grasp this. I think as far as aging gracefully, this is exceptionally important. 3 pillars, right? Healthy attitudes, healthy lifestyles, healthy homes. And as I've said many times, I don't believe that you can have a healthy lifestyle without a healthy attitude, especially on aging. We're so over hearing people say, oh, everyone's like this, and oh, I'm this age, so I don't have energy. Baloney, baloney, baloney. We're going to up that, smashing those, and we're different. We're aging gracefully, right? Okay, so let's get started. First of all, the wellness guide. I did the wellness guide for you all, and the one sheet, if you don't have it, give us your email. I think this is going to help you all tremendously. It's hard to keep track. Life is busy. So if you can make a simple system, I believe you will have results. So the food log, we're talking protein, we want to attempt to get 70 grams. Carbs, we are trying to keep it below 80 because they're not really our friends as far as a lot of other, you know, belly fat and all kinds of things. And sugars. Carbs below 80, sugars below 30, proteins up and onward of 70 grams for the 50 plus. So, review of just a quick review. Last week on where we can find protein for our daily diets, we went through a lot last week. So if you haven't had the opportunity, I would suggest you do that. Review last week. That is all about ways to increase our protein level in foods, everyday foods. There's also, I didn't of course have out meat, fish, poultry, all of the obvious. But often that is not something we get for breakfast or during the day as much. So that was not shown, but it's a part of protein amounts. Want to talk about I mentioned we would check into fitness apps, calorie apps, and how to keep track of proteins, carbs, all of that. A lot of you said they use the FitnessPal app. It's free. You can download. It's an app. There's an app for that. And so that's what we wanted to mention. Also, the resources that I've used today are reputable health experts, doctors, studies, medical. It's not my opinion. If anyone wants these resources that I've used for today, just let me know. I'll be happy to share from whence they came, okay? So very quickly, carbs, as we talked about, our body does not store carbs. Our body stores carbs and fats. Unfortunately, it does not store protein. We must get it every day. This is why it's an effort to keep track, and this is why we have the wellness guide. All right, so let's get started. The signs of insufficient protein. These are not in any particular order, but they're not in order. Muscle mass, I started to say, but muscle mass is a fairly common sign of not enough protein. And some of the research I saw or read called it muscle wasting. And this is especially prevalent in older people. Some people consider over 50 older, right? But back to, I skipped ahead, forgive me, on the protein not being stored in the body. Protein, and why we have all this on protein, is because only from protein can we get the building blocks from our protein, which give us amino acids. These amino acid enzymes really control almost everything in our bodies working. They are essential. So lack of protein means lack of amino acids, which gives all of these signs, there's 10 of them, that are the most prevalent. I'm sure there's others. But these were the ones I selected for us that I kept seeing over and over every article I read about the signs. And one of the things I kept seeing also is having a steak at night is not the way for optimum health. Doesn't mean you don't eat steak, but not to believe that that's how you get your protein for the day. Your body needs it all day. And we'll talk about breakfast again. So let's start on the signs. First off is the loss of muscle mass, one of the first signs. And what happens if we don't eat enough protein, your body will pull muscle protein from your skeletal mass. That's not a good thing, right? So we want to be able to have enough protein in our bodies so that we can prevent the deterioration related, slow age-related degeneration and deterioration of our muscle mass. By eating protein, we can build muscle mass. You can build it no matter your age. So that's another fallacy, that this stuff only happens when you're young, to build muscle, to build bone. That's just not true. And there's research to back my thoughts up. Building muscle mass and muscle strength is really important for you to be eating enough protein. Unexplained hunger, number 2. Hormones, they control our life, basically. And in our brain, there's certain hormones from the building blocks, these amino enzymes, that signal our brain for appetite. And if we're not having enough protein, guess what? Our brain signals us that we keep wanting more. We keep wanting to eat. And that's not helpful if we're trying to control our weight. Often, eating the right foods and eating often the right foods in the right portions will keep weight under control, maintain it, lose it. That is my theory and many others. You will have less food craving and prevent your appetite to be increased by eating the right amounts of protein during the day, all day. You can add protein to snacks. For those that can eat the almonds and dairy, cool, that's wonderful in between. Hard-boiled eggs, and some people just eat the whites of the eggs. In the hard-boiled egg, tuna, all kinds of things that are there for us. But that was last week. All right, and I'll quickly mention that last time I talked about my sister telling me about the Ancient Nutrition collagen, protein collagen. And I have been adding that to my coffee or oatmeal or whatever, and there's 15 grams per scoop. That's big, and that is an easy way. Number 3, difficulty sleeping. That was a surprise. I knew that having a lot of sugar, especially for me, I can't do sugar after dinner. I'm like, nah. Not like wired, but my brain doesn't turn off at night if I try to sleep. So it just is one of those things. But that's not what I'm talking about. This is adequate protein throughout the day can cause people to have difficulty sleeping. All right, a biggie, bone density. Stress can lead to stress fractures, low bone density. And I'll do a plug here for DEXA scan. That is critical, you all, to have it. Men can have osteo. It's less frequent, but they can. But post-menopausal women, oh yes. And there's a lot of medical conflicting information that we can't build bone as we age, and research is debunking that. And part of it is eating enough protein. That's only part. In my book, Design Smarts, I talk a lot about my journey fighting osteo, and I'm winning. And I've won, really. And so being European, light eyes, postmenopausal, no estrogen during menopause, small frame, candidate for osteo. And I had it pretty severely. But all out effort, I'm good. And how many are we hearing of the stress fractures today? Ankles, all kinds of things. Check the bone density and check the protein levels. And again, I'm not trying to make this simplistic, but protein is a big part of bone density. There was one study said that higher protein gave postmenopausal women a lower risk also of hip fractures. So there you go. All right. There's a lot to be said. I don't want to minimize this bone density business. Number 5, thinning hair, weak, brittle nails, dry skin. Wow. Almost everybody faces that at some point or some time, or weather or conditions or whatnot. But if that's happening constantly over and over, or increasing the signs, checking the protein level is a smart thing to do, right? Protein is made up of keratin and collagen. Those are essential for hair, skin, nails. And so what more needs to be said there, right? Swelling. I'm going to read my notes on this because I don't want to misspeak. In extreme cases, protein deficiency may cause edema, swelling in the abdomen, feet, hands, or legs. Experts believe that this swelling is a result of lower serum levels of the protein albumin, which is responsible for maintaining normal oncotic pressure in the vascular system and prevents fluid from accumulating in other tissues. This said extreme protein, but I wonder if, seeing feet swell and all of that, it is vascular. Be interesting to know how much protein deficiency actually affects that, right? Beyond other, of course, heart issues or circulatory issues. Fatigue. Fatigue is something that is prevalent almost all the time. You hear from people. I hear it. I fight myself from saying it because I'm a firm believer in what I think affects what I do and how I feel. But I do know fatigue is a common ailment, condition for a lot of people. They just My late mom used to say, I don't have my mojo. And we would always get what she meant there. But fatigue, the reason lack of protein affects our fatigue level also is the lack of red blood cells, which carry oxygen to the body. We can feel weak or tired. And that was something that I didn't want to misinterpret also. But it's the low protein, again, those the body is so interconnected, isn't it? One thing, you know, the hip bone's connected to the, so protein, red meat, all of that, getting our omega fats in the salmon, seafood, all kinds of things. I'm going quickly because there's a lot to say. But if we're feeling fatigue and we don't have the energy we want to have, besides having checkups, seeing your doctor, all of that, for all of this, it is to think about your diet, my diet, your diet. What are we eating and when are we eating it? Number 8, slower metabolism. And this is another one that, because it was a little beyond my normal understanding, it says that we don't get enough protein. Your body begins to lose muscle mass. There we are again with muscle mass, right? A reduction in lean body mass reduces your daily resting energy expenditure. See why I didn't want to take this off the top? Or REE, resulting in a slower metabolism. If you've noticed your digestion has become more sluggish or you've gained weight recently, a slower metabolism due to protein deficiency might be to blame. Wow. What is it, huh? And then we have the compromised immune system. Oh boy, are we not all concerned about this today? With COVID, with flu season coming on, just in general, our immune system is so critically important to keep it fine-tuned and over the top. I'm working on mine. I'm encouraging Bob to work on his. He's doing great. And it makes a difference. So again, I'm going to use some additional notes, not to skip over anything important for you. Again, a healthy lifestyle is balance, which is sleep, controlling stress, exercise, downtime, fun, relaxation, all of that. But a healthy diet is a big component of healthy lifestyle, aging gracefully. So our immune system today is super important, like I said, with what we're all concerned about. But we can do something about it, right? We can keep ourselves in the best health we can by keeping our immune system up. And protein is one way to do that. And I talked about supplements. There's a lot of things, you know, our vitamin D's, all kinds of things we take. But protein is a very big part of this. So lack of protein impairs the body's ability to fight infections, even such as the common cold. And that's common sense, isn't it? When we're run down and not taking care of ourselves, we are like, you know, sitting ducks, just waiting to be knocked over. We have to keep our immune up and keep our bodies healthy. And I could go on and on about that, but I won't. So lack of protein is caused lower immune system by the risk of infection due to reduced concentration of plasma amino acids that regulate the immune cells. See, we said these amino acids, they're like a big deal, aren't they? And they're only found in the building blocks of protein. Research shows low protein in our diets equals compromised immune system. So there you have it. Mood swings, oh boy. Last but not least is mood swings. I can tell when Bob has not eaten right. And he can tell when I haven't eaten right. We're just not our cheery selves. No, all kidding aside, it's obvious. And of course there's other factors that go into that, not sleeping well or whatever. But for me, one of my project managers I used to have, she would keep almonds in her purse. And when we would be on a design project for hours and hours, and I was getting so like, oh, she'd say, Mitz, and she'd give me some almonds and pump me up, and it mattered. So there's neurotransmitters in the brain, you guessed it, made up of amino acids, and controls a lot of things happening even in our brain. So when one is feeling moody, depressed, a lot of anxiety, grouchy, check the protein, right? This has been a lot to give you all in a short amount of time. I know that by going back over this, you can repeat the information, and that is why I wrote this down, and also why I'm going over it and over it. So this is all I have for you today, which is just like a lot. But I care about your health. I care about you aging gracefully. And I look forward to hearing the reports of how your lives are being enhanced. Remember, knowledge is power, right? But only applied knowledge will make a difference. So I'll see you next time.